What's happening, family? Welcome to another episode of Quick Conversation with King Drew Millions. It's your boy, Mr. Quick.
And I'm King Drew Millions. And this episode is being sponsored by the Professional brand, where we always keep it P, and the Hive, where visions get elevated. And today, we got LP on the show. Quincy, quick, explain who.
LP, man, former NBA associate. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that you were in the association.
We talk through some stuff. Yeah, we got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Financial advisor and the man who is responsible for this entire set that we, you know what I mean, bring to y'all once a week and then on forth. Man, LP, man, what's up, bro?
So first, we good. First,
Yeah.
I need to know where you got your research from, because it would have been NFL.
I was in
You see that? I used to work with NFL athletes.
There we go.
And do some now. Had some opportunities to play some sports, but I got these bad knees. You know what I'm saying? Where I make one move and I'm out for 6 to 12 weeks.
Oh,
So I never had the opportunity. So luckily, I like math.
yeah,
And, that's kind of what matriculated me to where I am now.
got you.
Yeah.
So I stand corrected. National Football League. You know what I mean? He's a Sooner.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. I had to represent. We didn't make the tournament, so I wanted to make sure that I was wearing something that would reflect my roots. While I'm in Houston, I'm definitely a Sooner while I'm in Houston.
All right, what we're talking
my
about.
school just lost the NCAA. You know
Who?
Prairie View.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Y'all did more than lose.
Horribly.
Program should be disbanded.
Hey, the coach got on at halftime about we need the Lord. For real. On the guard the prayer could have to win that.
Man,
game.
that was pretty ugly. Yeah, that was pretty ugly. But you made the tournament though.
Yeah.
This was the first time I think that they had 3 teams from the SWAC
Right.
that made the tournament ever. So that was a good year, regardless.
But not only that, we setting records like that was the most point deficit. Like I think the second, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
The second in history, bro.
2 records, one mattered, one didn't. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
It was ugly though. It was
Yeah.
ugly. It was.
For real. I love my university, but it is what it is, man.
man. Well, before we get too deep off into it, where you from, LP?
Yeah, so a military brat more than anything.
Okay.
So I can't really claim a place, but if I do, I'm gonna claim Louisiana.
Okay.
So my parents, they are in Lafayette right now. My family got roots like Opelousas, I-49, like the Acadiana Parish.
Yes, sir.
So all of that is where I basically say if we had roots, that's where we're from.
So you're not from Houston? I thought this whole time. I thought you
Nah,
were from Houston.
I've been in Houston a decade.
Oh,
so
so you didn't grow up in Houston?
Absolutely not. Just now, right at 10 years right now. It'll make 10 years in October that I've been in Houston.
I guess
That's what's up.
you a mile.
I'm not quite there. I can't say like what it do or I ain't got all the slang down.
Because I remember one of y'all episodes you was asking about our terminology and our slang, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, because some of it is wild. Like some things they say in Houston, you got to get a decoder to make sure. Because if you say plex in the wrong place, like you might have to suplex someone. So yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah, that's a real thing.
But if you just say you feel me and know what I'm talking about, you good to go.
I still don't got the know I'm talking about down because I want to do it the right way. And y'all take out the vowels, and I don't like that. That don't make me comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
But you gotta say it fast. No, I'm talking about.
Yeah, that make me feel like I got beef, like right now. Like so, I can't. So I stay in my lane. I know I'm not originally from here, so I approach everything with respect. So I definitely do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
my family from Louisiana as well, but we from Calcasieu Parish.
Okay, I know where you at. Yeah.
So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly where you
next door neighbors. You know.
Yeah, not too far. You right there by like Lobdell. Yeah. Y'all going down the street. I know exactly where you at. Yeah.
So how long were you in that? So you would claim Louisiana. So how long were you in Louisiana?
And see, the only reason why I claim it is because that's where the family is from.
Okay.
We were military. So for me, I lived in like 6 cities in 2 countries. So it was where my father was in the Air Force. So we moved probably every 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I lived in New Mexico for a while, in Texas, in Oklahoma, in Italy, in Kansas. So we were a variety of places at different times. So I can't really claim a place other than my parents' hometown.
What kind of effect did that have on you? Like always moving, switching school. Were you homeschooled or did you actually go move to these places and go to school?
No, I went to school. Like, so for me, it allowed me to, one, make relationships fast because I was always meeting new people. So it encouraged me, like, you couldn't walk into a new school and not at least be affable to have conversations with people.
Right.
But thankfully also, I had like an athletic background. So that kind of helps when you go to a new school too. Like if you can hoop or you can run a ball, like that kind of gets you integrated relatively quickly into most places. So when I got to middle school and realized like, oh, I can do a few things, that kind of helped me get integrated in new schools also.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So what was it like going to school in Italy?
So that was I was like a baby then. So that was when I was young, but I got two older brothers that, at one point they were fluent in Italian because they were there in their developmental ages, but me, I wasn't there, I wasn't there at a time where it had made a difference.
So they were black speaking Italian?
Absolutely. Like Kobe.
That's hard.
And
yeah,
is there a
that's how
lot of
Kobe
black
was.
people out there speaking Italian?
Yeah. So what happens is there's military bases, of course, across the U.S. And then those bases sometimes have like other bases in all other countries. We're experiencing some of that right now with the war in Iran, where they're hitting some of our bases in other Middle Eastern countries. Well, Italy has bases where people can go. Matter of fact, Aviano Air Force Base is where my family was stationed. And then, so you would go to an American school, but you could also go to an Italian school. Wow. So you can go pick up the language and do stuff like that. So that's our way of having, good trade and good treaties with different countries by using our armed services. So we protect them some. And we also have our, ear to the streets on what's happening in Europe.
I failed to mention that you are also a fellow podcaster.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a podcaster. Yeah.
So, how did you get into that realm of things?
Really random. I never wanted to be on camera or on mic. So I always wanted to do the business side of things. But my younger brother, who y'all have probably met here before, we call him B-Ro, him and a college teammate, they wanted to start a podcast. Okay. So I said, all right, I'll put some stuff together. We'll figure it out. So 2018, because I've been doing it for a while now, we were at my house for Thanksgiving. I said, well, I bought mics and a mixer, so let's just start talking. And then my brother, he couldn't commit to doing it full time. So they had already started. So I was like, well, I'll do it. Like, whatever, it's cool. I'll do it for a little while till y'all find someone. And I've done 340 episodes since.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Just picked it up and never put it down.
Yeah, never put it down. Yeah, because it kind of became an outlet for me. I'm a girl dad. It's just me at the crib with all women. So a comfortable way for me to get out the house without lying. Hey, I'm going to shoot the pod.
Right.
And if the pod took 9 hours, it took 9 hours, but I'm out the crib. So that was a comfortable way. And then I just kind of turned it into more fellowship and realized that if I could do it, then I could help others do it and kind of build some systems around it.
Not for real.
Yeah.
And people never really realize how much time it actually takes to put these shows together.
Yeah, it is not just you sitting down for the time while you're recording. There's a ton on the front end and the back end.
See, baby, he just told you that because we had this conversation. Like, you leave the house at 2:00 and don't come back until X time of the day. And I'm like, well, I'm leaving 2 because traffic.
No doubt.
Then I get here about an hour or two early and set up. Then we shoot the podcast. Then after that, we kind of prolong.
Got to decompress.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I like that word.
Yeah.
We decompress.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then I'm back at home midnight or something like that. But she looking at it like I just vanished for a whole day. I'm like,
I mean, you absolutely did vanish. Let's be honest. You definitely vanished, but for a good cause. You know what I'm saying? Like I supported, allow this man to leave for 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? He worked hard. I already know.
Yeah, man. We really been dedicated to this. This is year 2, season 3.
Yeah, and I appreciate y'all locking in with us. I really do. So I appreciate y'all, man.
We appreciate the love that y'all show us every time we come in the building. You know what I'm saying? It feels very family oriented.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No
I
doubt.
feel like we're part of the family here.
because I know the first day I came, I got here before he did, and I walked in the door. I'm all confused, and then Phil approached me. He was like, "You good?" I'm like, "I'm here to have a meeting with y'all and kind of just see how the building is." And then he was like, "You shot a podcast before?" And he just instantly sat down with no meeting at the time, and he just gave me game. And I was like, "You good?" Like, he was like, "What you mean?" I was like, "You just give me all this game." Like, he was like, "No, that's what we do."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, like, okay." Then I met you, And same thing, just game. Like, I'm like, man, y'all good? Y'all like, what you mean? I'm like, man, it ain't common nowadays where people would just come in, because that's a question he want to talk about on at some point. Are people, genuine still? That's another podcast topic for another day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a whole thing to unpackage. Or like people still out here, like everybody wants something, but to still help people without instantly, immediately requiring something.
Yeah, I don't think you do things by transaction. If you want to, there's a saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's just how I've always lived. So even the people who will be around me, and I'm not saying that I dictate the energy of the space, but I would encourage, if you're going to work with me, then I would hope that you take a similar stance with people, because we're not transactions. Humans are communal, and the more that we can do together, the better that we can do. Now, granted, some people may have to invest some money. Maybe I reap some rewards on the back end of things, but my goal is to flip that, because if I'm the only person benefiting, then we're not doing enough in the building. And that's kind of how I look at things.
That's hard. So I heard you mention that you kind of wanted to fall into the business side of things, and you're good at math. So what was your major in school?
So undergrad, communications, graduate, I got like a dual kind of MBA and human resource development. And then I've got all of my promoter licenses for finance, like any series that you would need to be able to sell and or invest for people on their behalf.
So basically, you just made a gumbo for the life that you live today.
For the most part. Yeah. So I the one piece that's probably unexpected is this.
Okay.
Like, if I'm being honest, like me being on camera, me being comfortable doing interviews, stuff like that, that was not what I was supposed to be doing. I never felt comfortable like public speaking and talking in front of people. This is something that has to get pulled out of me. This isn't something that's natural. I'm more of a laid back, sit in the back, sit in the cut. This is something that I had to learn over a period of time.
But I mean, you said you were pretty outgoing in school. So like, what type of kid were you?
I started out like a band nerd. Like, yeah. So
you was in a band?
Yeah, used to go to band camps.
This one time?
Yeah,
band camp?
hey, I was cold at the trumpet, played drums, sung in church. I'm a PK.
Okay.
So you a PK?
Yeah, I'm a PK. So my pops would, I was always the brother doing the MLK speech during that. So those were the things that kind of like trained me to be comfortable, because the most judgmental people are the black people in church. I'm just gonna be honest. They looking at you like, hey baby, you didn't know your lines. Like, you got to get it together. So once you could win them over, you damn near at the Apollo when you at church. So, but as a kid, I'm a middle. So, I had two older brothers and then a younger brother. So, as far as the attention is concerned and things like that, I kind of figured it out on my own, because there's other responsibilities that's going on around me. And I think that's kind of what built the muscles that I'm doing right now.
That's what's up. So what was the household like with your father being in the military? Like, was your mom a stay-at-home mom, or was she in the military as well, or what?
Nah, so my mom was an educator. My father, he, sometimes there'll be those tours where he'd be gone for 6 months to a year, and I would say we ran amok.
Wait, time out. You had Army father,
Air Force,
okay.
Yeah, Air Force,
a military father, a mom that was an educator, and then he became a preacher.
Yeah, so my dad became a preacher. Long story, but about the time I was getting ready to graduate high school, I think my dad needed to pray over his boys.
Yeah,
and he decided I'm gonna go ultimate. Because I'm not gonna say that we was wild, but we was wild. Like, I mean, like the Rollins boys, when we would show up to bases, we all my size. I've been 200 pounds since I've been like 12. So we all my size, all my height, and we would go to bases and like, all right, who the bully? Let's go. Let's figure this out. And
that's crazy.
We probably gave him a lot of heartache, to the point where he's like, "Look, I got to pray over him." And then next thing you know, he a preacher. So, to this day, 40 years in the game now. Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, my pop's almost 80. Yeah, so almost 40 years in the game now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Was there a lot of pressure with all that dynamic?
Absolutely not. No. I don't. So the good thing about my parents that I would say is that they kind of just let us figure it out. Like they were never really on top of us. Now they probably could have been on top of us a little more, but they kind of let us figure it out, and we could come to them. Like my dad was always one of those people that, regardless, you can always come home.
Mhm.
Like you could always come home. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what's going on with your relationship. You know, married, not married, divorced, whatever it is, you can always come home. And since we felt like we had that anchor, it allowed us to take risk and allowed us to maybe grow in a way. You know, I've got my oldest brother. You know, he's a principal athletic director. My middle brother, he's a entertainment person in Dallas. My youngest brother, he's an athletic director, also was a head basketball coach for about 5 years. And then me just went full entrepreneur just this last year.
So it was all boys.
Yeah, we ain't got no sisters. Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
No one chose to go to the military like you did.
My oldest brother did the Army for a decade. The younger three, we did not.
Okay.
Yeah, we did not.
Well, was the household like military style, very militant, everything, like beds had?
Oh yeah. And I'm still that way to this day.
Right.
Yeah, like I am very the term is probably wrong, but put together. Like everything that I do will have some structure, there'll be some order, and then I feel like you can save the fun for after all the work is done.
Is that stressful for your wife and your kids?
You'd have to ask them. I know I probably stressed them out, like, but they stress me out too. Why you think I'm here all day?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I would say that they probably appreciate how I am because it allows for some things maybe that we normally wouldn't have. But I think they probably would wish I was a little less rigid in some things because, you know, I do try to keep a standard in certain stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It makes all the sense in the world. It really does. But it makes me want to kind of like fall off into like your education, right? Because we came to talk about like people living outside of our means.
No doubt. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big thing in our community. You know, like why is it that so many people seek to look like they have money rather than actually have money?
Man, first off, that's a great question. It really is. And I'm probably going to give you an answer that y'all don't expect. So, because by trade, I manage money. Like, so what my real career is, although this is a career, but what my real career is, I'm a registered investment advisor and a consultant. So I manage up to $3 billion. You know, at my previous institution, almost 4, depending upon what's going on with market, have launched my own and have been building my own assets under management, work with nonprofits, organizations, corporations, down to individuals. And what I would say is, as far as people trying to appear like they are something that they're not, it's not your fault. It's not. It's marketing.
Okay.
The country, especially the country that we live in, has done a phenomenal job in selling the American dream.
Right.
And the American dream is expensive. So what happens is all the marketing that you will see on TV, social media, podcast, on radio, wherever it is going to point you in that your lifestyle isn't good enough. And behavioral finance, you know, things that you study will tell you that if I'm looking at something so many times, like, you know, you building that habit, now you building the habit of, oh, I'm not good enough.
Right.
I gotta go spend this money, man, to make sure my home isn't up to par with people. Although the people around you who love you, they're not judging you.
Right.
They could care less. Right. They want to make sure that you're good, you're healthy, you're whole, you seen, you value, you heard. But what marketing does to all of us, it makes us look like we're not doing enough.
That's crazy that you're talking about, because like I bought these shoes today to match with this shirt that Pastor Pauls gave to me from church. But when I went in there to buy the shoes, I only wanted the shoes, and they was like, "Well, you know, our socks on sale." And I said, you know what? I need some socks, you know. So I bought a black pair and a white pair, like 20 pair of socks for $20, so like $1 a sock if you really broke it down. And I was happy. Then they were like, "Man, you don't want the shoe shine?" I say, hey, you upsold me once. Let me enjoy the deal. Then he was like, "Well, but this the best upside." I say, "Hey, man." Then he said, "Well, what if I give you $10 off?" Then you buy. I say, "Why would you give me $10 off and then try to upsell me again? Can you let me enjoy a deal?" And he looked at me say, I ain't even gonna lie, you right, man. I say, just let me enjoy the deal. I only came in here, my budget was $100. And y'all upsold me some stocks.
So you spent more than 100, didn't you?
I spent like 120.
Okay, so let me explain to you what happened. So this is a good conversation. So in America, you can't enjoy the deal. It's impossible. America only works if you're spending money, because we don't make anything in this country. So our economy is based on you spending that extra $20. So they may have had a budget where they would go in and be like, hey, this store, let's say you went to Foot Action, needs to make X this month. And then they're going to have a quarterly report of all Foot Actions that determine, all right, what did this company do over this quarter? And if this company didn't do better than it did the last quarter, then it's pulling down the economy some. The only way that this American system works is by getting you to spend more money. That's it. We don't make anything. We don't make anything in America that we really do internally.
Right.
How the economy works is people spending money. So they had to get that 20 up out of you.
Man,
Wow.
They got to. Your budget didn't matter to them.
I wasn't tripping on the 20. I'm tripping that after you upsold me, you tried to triple upsell.
And wait until, because you gave me your email too, or your phone number on your receipt.
Right,
Wait
right.
until you
Send
start
your
getting
coupons.
those.
Yep.
Because the only way it works is if you spending money.
Well, see, you know, I'm kind of a little history buff, you know what I'm saying? Like back in I'm gonna say in old times, I don't know exact time frame, you know what I'm saying? But it was said that a lot of people, when they received money, they would spend it and put it on in their clothes and everything, because if they were seen with cash on them, the cash would be taken from them. So they didn't want your worldly possessions, they wanted your money. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of little.
Nah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, we've had several iterations, especially for Black and brown people,
Right.
where it wasn't even safe to have money.
Right.
I mean, Black Wall Street is a real thing. I'm from Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real thing. So at one point, it was better to spend it than to keep it. But I would say now it's not. You know, I'd say now it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the first person would get theirs was the liquor store.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, you got to go get that fifth.
Yeah,
you know,
gotta
every
get
night.
right.
You know what I'm
Gotta
saying?
get right before you get left.
Yeah, you know, that's why our eyes been yellow since the 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah, real talk.
yeah, liver's been bad.
Real talk. So, do you think that there is a way it is possible for us to kind of reverse this train of thought that has been going on for, centuries at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're starting to do it some in a way, because it's people who look like me, people who look like y'all, that are having these conversations that doesn't attach itself to an offer. Because see, what Black and brown people have seen is most of the time when there's someone who's an expert, that expert is coming with a high ticket. They're saying, hey, in order to get this information, you got to do this. Obviously, I sell a service. I sell advice. But I'm not coming on this episode today, but like, you can join my coaching program after this for XYZ.
Right.
Like, I'm a legitimate SEC registered, everything that I do, state registration. You can track what I've been doing. But I think what happens a lot in our community, people get nervous about these things because they feel like, oh, there's going to be an offer after, where the only way I'm gonna get this information is I have to pay for it. So the way that we reverse it is by doing more information sharing. So like you said, when you came in and you was like, even around the podcast, people just giving you game without asking you for nothing. I do the same thing every day on finance. Now there will be a point where we stop, because once I start giving you advice, that's where my services start to be rendered. But it's more about just giving more information. You can find any information out there now. It's anything I'll say on here right now, you can go get for free. You can go find someone to validate it. You can find that. But our problem is we don't trust the information. You got to have trusted sources.
Right. So it's not a series of poor choices, but more so of a cultural economic that plays a role.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we know everything we need to know about how to manage money.
Okay.
And if you don't know, you're one Google search away from figuring it out.
Well, see, I was always taught to save, right? But as I've grown older, that dollar isn't necessarily gaining any interest in any shape, form, or fashion. That same dollar that I put in that shoebox, you know what I'm saying, a year ago, it's still gonna be $1 in that shoebox.
Well, actually, it's worth less.
Exactly.
So, but I would say, why would you put it in the shoebox? Why wouldn't we put it in an interest-bearing vehicle?
Well, tell me about it.
Okay, so this isn't advice. This isn't advice, but I will give a little game. So, and I got to caveat it because if I was giving advice,
keep it P.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. We go from there.
Understandable.
But y'all hear the term inflation all the time,
Right?
Okay, so $1 that you have right now in the future is always going to be worth less.
Absolutely.
Because the cost of goods and services every year, at the minimum,
3.3%.
that's what it is about right now.
Yeah.
But every year, the Fed wants it to be about 2%. Inflation is going to be about 2%. That means the cost of the normal goods and services is going to go up about 2% every year. So if you've got that single dollar not making more than 2%, then it's actually worth less the next time you pull it out to spend it. That's why if you go see these online banks, they offer high yield savings accounts. Those high yield savings accounts are a way for, if you put money into this account, you may be able to outpace inflation. Then you even get further where equities or stocks in the market may also be able to outpace inflation. So that dollar that you had, if you're able to put in the market, and let's say the market makes 8%, inflation was 2%, you've got a 6% delta there. So you've been able to make some money in comparison to that dollar being in the shoebox, and it's not worth anything.
Now, see, after you saying that, I felt like I did the right thing a couple of years back. I put like $600 into the stock market using Robinhood.
That's what's up. Yeah.
And I was listening to Wall Street Trapper.
Yeah.
And he was saying invest in things that you know about, like things that you resonate with. Everybody knows I'm a big Nike fan, so I invested in Nike stocks. I received dividends per quarter for that.
Yep.
Ford, I'm a Ford man.
Okay.
I invested in Ford. Same thing. Levi's.
Yeah.
Same thing. Now I did get into a couple REITs.
Okay.
Which is a real estate investment trust, and they pay monthly dividends.
Correct.
So it's like, okay, I see a little bit more money from the other ones, but it's still money still coming in. Now, if I did my math correctly, I'm receiving about 6 to 7% as far as like an increase.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Rather than putting it in a regular savings account where I'm only getting like 2%, you know what I mean?
Of course.
And it's like, okay, I can see the money, and then as I'm receiving dividends, I'm reinvesting them back into the market.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you'd have a taxable event if you didn't.
Right.
So if you took those money.
See, I'm still a shoebox guy.
But you're not, though. Because do people know his profession?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. We tell them every week.
Okay.
We tell them every week.
Okay. Because I'm about to say, but you're not, because you have a savings plan that's done for you.
Right.
So there are some things that, but I can have a conversation with you like separate of things that you should be doing, because I work with public servants.
Okay.
And what public servants do, y'all have the benefit of almost like a pension at the end of your career. But separate of that, there are savings and mechanisms that you can do, because that's a conversation for offline. But we'll have a conversation. Matter of fact, and we may record.
Because this is the most money I've ever made, but I'm bad with it. I ain't gonna lie.
But you're not bad with it. See, we got to reframe that.
Okay.
You're not bad with it.
So what's good with it? 'Cause I just work it and spend it.
No, so I'm gonna reframe the word bad.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna say that you just need to rebalance how you spend.
Okay.
Because
so I'm unbalanced with
absolutely. You're probably doing more of your wants versus your needs. So you probably have your needs met and not realizing that you can do a few things on the margins to have your wants the way you want them to be, but you should never dip into a certain pool of money. Like, I try to build people strategies on where they can, hey, you only spend from here. Okay. Because if you only spend from here, the rest of this is anchoring yourself moving forward. So you just need to rebalance in a way. You're not bad with money because you make enough.
I mean, I make.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't be bad with it if you make it.
And then I at one point I was really I've always been good with saving, but then I ain't gonna say that on here. I was gonna get personal. What I'm gonna say? We said we're gonna keep it thorough on here, man. I had an X amount of money saved, and then one day my wife was, because I'm big on how I save money mentally, is if I put it here, I'm not touching it. Like, this can be all the way up here, but then my life can be all the way down here. I've been doing that like my whole life. Like I'm not touching that now. You know, life or death reasons or like major whatever. But I kind of went through a path, and then my wife, you got all this money, because she knew about it. You got all this money, and then this over here is hurting, and this over here is hurting. I'm like, man, that's just a little something that I put in there every day. It just done growed, you know, whatever. And we had a little, and then I felt some kind of way, and then I went down this path of just blowing all the.
Yeah, I think you're not. No one is immune to the pressure of household expenses, and then also the pressure of a spouse. And that's because relationships are layered. You got to remember that trusted counsel of a spouse not only knows you intimately, but they also know everything that you do separate of the money. So if there's an imbalance there, the one person who's going to bring you back in will be that spouse. But there's ways that you can shield yourself from spending money by putting it in certain types of accounts where you wouldn't even be able to get it out of there. And that's the way you set yourself up.
But what about those unforeseen circumstances that just so happen, like a natural disaster or, you know, someone has an injury or something like that? Like, how can you plan for those types of situations?
Absolutely. So I give people
Affleck.
Hey, Affleck does work. Affleck does work. Affleck helped me with my knee surgery. So you can definitely do insurance. There is insurance. But I'll give a little, maybe not advice. People can take this as general information. But you really should have like 3 buckets of money at all times.
3?
Yes. And we can have this conversation. We should have 3 buckets of money. One that's taxable. Okay. That's money that you know it's going to go into an account. It's already been taxed, and you can spend that on whatever you need. You should have a pre-tax set of money. That's probably going to come from your job. Maybe you've done your 401k, you're working on your match, you're putting stuff away for your pension. And then you should also have emergency savings, which is 3 to 6 months of all of that other income set aside. And I always tell people, if you don't have that 3 to 6 months, most Americans right now cannot cover an emergency that's more than $400. If right now a tire blew, I had to buy 4 tires 2 weeks ago, and then another one blew on me 3 days ago when I came here. So most Americans, though, they got to go get a credit card for that,
Right.
or they don't have the cash for it. Refrigerator goes out, AC goes out. Y'all know in Houston, our AC go out every summer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most Americans do not have $400. Me at times as well. So I'm not immune to this. You know what I'm saying? But most Americans do not have $400. So why I teach the 3 bucket strategy? If we know what our taxable is, I know my tax liability, all that's going to be at the end of the year. If I know what I saved on pre-tax, I know what I'm putting there. I know what my match is going to look like. And then if I know where my emergency savings is, man, I got hurt. All right, well, go get that $3,000 out. You know, I shouldn't have been hooping anyway, but we can afford it because I did what I was supposed to do on my planning. That's why planning is really important. You need a partner in planning.
Right.
So if I would sell myself in one way, that's what I am. I'm like a quarterback for all the things that you do related to your financial life. Hey, you look at an insurance. Let's really sit down and look at this insurance. You got a distribution. Let's see what the tax liability is going to be if you do this distribution. You want to go on a vacation. Let's plan this vacation over the next 6 months to make sure that we got the money for it. That's kind of what a person in my role does.
Dang, boy, that's heavy. So how can like social media influence like your spending habits, and like is it closely tied to the point to where it's hard to have those 3 buckets that you just spoke of? Because on social media it's a highlight reel, right?
Absolutely.
And you're constantly seeing people traveling, they're constantly shopping, you know what I'm saying, buying new cars and, you know what I mean, new jewelry. Like, I mean, is it the question that I'm asking is, how can that really be? Is that a cultural thing? And how can we move past it? Or at this point, we can't move past it.
Yeah, I think that's another great question. And I'm probably going to give you an answer that's different. Okay.
That's what we're here
Yeah.
for.
So because I believe your social media is because of you. It's your algorithm. So if, At one point, my social media probably had too much waist to hip ratio. I had to I had to change the algorithm.
Likewise.
You know, like so. But also, what these companies have done, and I would encourage everybody. There's a great book. It's probably about 15 years old at this point now, but it's called "Who Owns the Future," and it talks about that. Really, the only thing that these companies care about, the reason why we get these platforms for free, is because they get our data. They've got 1 million scenarios of you ran to know how you, they got 1 million scenarios of you ran to know that if I just send him a couple things, he gonna be ready to spend because we've ran him 1 million times. There's 1 million versions of Quick. There's 1 million versions of King Drew Millions. There's 1 million versions of me where they're just tinkering on the edge. That's why sometimes when you feel like, hey man, I didn't even, I just thought about something and it showed up on my timeline.
Yeah.
It's because they got 1 million of you.
Well, I think mine be like geared especially towards me because like I've been wanting this infinity truck. I promise you. Every time I open my Facebook,
It's there.
it's there. Every time I open my Instagram, it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this thing really reading my mind?
And the 10 other brothers that they've modeled that's the same as you, 6 of them bought it. And they just waiting until y'all other 4 do it. They're gonna keep. It's kind of like a temperature dial. They're going to just keep turning it up. And they're going to find the one where you click the link. Then when you click the link, they got you. Because now they can really target you. They can target you on your TV. This is what people don't get. And, you know, I'm fortunate to sit in positions where I get to see some of this data. Like if you've got a Amazon device, okay, you search something on Google, for example, that data may get sold to Amazon. Now you'll start seeing that on Amazon Prime. When you see it on Amazon Prime, you know, now when you log into TVs, there's that sleep screen. That sleep screen is also going to be ads. I promise you, you'll start seeing that infinity on that sleep screen in about 3 weeks. Because they're going to figure out where to find you where you're most likely to buy. And they're going to find it. And when they do, hit me. You're going to be like, damn, they got me. I'm going to get an infinity. but again, it goes back to marketing. So again, social media is not our fault. It is not our fault. These are multi-billion-dollar companies that don't even make a profit most years. The only thing they make money off of is selling advertisements.
What?
ChatGPT and all, even the new AI, those are losing money right now. They're not money makers. Their goal on the back end is either to replace things that you can purchase, you know, find you to do advertising, or like kind of replace employees to reduce the amount of work count. None of these companies are really making a lot of money. Now, Facebook and all them that are more mature, yes, they're making money. But most of the newer ones, man, they run at a loss. They're in debt.
So companies are living outside of their means as well?
That's the only way you make money in a company.
To live outside of
Yeah, most companies are in debt.
I'm a company.
Uber didn't make I don't know. KJ, if you could do me a favor and look this up. Uber wasn't profitable probably until maybe a decade ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Uber was losing money year over year over year. So if you just look up Uber losing money, they lost money for so many years. That's what companies do. And then at some point, it turns. So they started making money when?
2023.
Okay, and they started probably like, I think I remember hearing about Uber in like 2005. Maybe 06. Yeah, I got off a plane and I was like, what is this? It was like something new. At one point, it was only in the Bay Area.
So, okay, generally within a company, like when do you start seeing a profit? Like I know for some time you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna start breaking even. Like
I know the standard rule is what, like first year struggle, second and third year, you kind of balance out in like 4 year, 5 years when you start seeing a profit.
Yeah, it depends on the industry too. So like a service-based industry where you can keep overhead low and your margins high, you could make money day one. Because if you're willing to work all the hours without employees and without staff, you can be relatively profitable. Now, things like taxes and franchise tax and things like that may eat into your profit, but at least you're not running a deficit.
Right.
But if you're building a organization that's going to require, you know, standard operating procedures, employees, insurance, physical location, you probably 5-10 years out before you really anchor in, unless you're a quick cash business like a nightclub.
Right.
But that's why they come and go, because you can only, drive your community for so long where you're taking that money from them to where they start having other options.
So as a finance advisor, how do you feel about come and go hustles?
Well, I don't think look at anything as a hustle, because hustle implies that it's only a fly-by-night thing. But some people's hustle is their main source of income forever. So to me, I always encourage people, if you're looking at improving your financial situation, a second job or a second source of income is ideal. I don't encourage anyone, unless you've got a terminal degree, i.e. lawyer, physician, like that. Most of us are doing a couple things because you have to.
Right.
In this economy, either you're a 2-person income or you've been so disciplined in your spending that most of us are in some form where we've got a couple things we're doing.
Right.
What are the biggest mistakes you think people do, like financially, to put themselves in a deficit?
Especially when they call themselves leveling up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I done got this job. Now I'm gonna go get me. You know what I mean?
I think one of the most difficult things, especially for our community, is not understanding how credit works. Because there's definitely good debt. There's debt that helps you, improves you, you can leverage. So for example, let's say a single family home. Single family home, one of the best debt that you can get, because not only is it debt that allows you to have a place of living where you're paying down a balance, but it also is in an appreciating value where, you may look up 2-3 years, that house is going to be worth well more than that you spent. You've also paid down that balance. So you've got a delta there that you've got some income for that you can use. One of the worst things that people do, go buy a brand new Infinity. Because that's the day it drives off the lot, it's worth about 20% less than the moment that you bought it in the dealership. And car payments are extremely expensive.
So would you rather buy new cars or used cars?
I've never bought a new car in my life.
See, I always buy new cars.
And I'm not saying that that's a poor or a good decision.
I recently just bought a used car for the first time, and I'm loving it because I'm like, I looked up how much the car cost when it first came out, and I got it for half. I'm like, I should have been doing it.
See, he likes deals. See,
I got it. Now, this King Drew Millions like deals. Not the old King Drew Millions.
Yeah, the old King Drew Millions, everything.
Yeah, being vehicle poor, if I would say is a thing, like, a lot of people are driving around in a $900 car payment, not including the insurance on it. They might be $1,100 a month.
Right, easy.
And, I think spending on entertainment is also a thing that we spend a lot of money on. And if you got the discretionary money, cool. But a lot of us will put that experience on a credit card. And then you pay that minimum over a period of time. So now that experience that cost $300 has now cost you $1,200. So that's a couple things that we try to avoid. And again, I'm going to say this, I'm not immune to these things. I do the exact same thing as everyone else. I just try to plan around it more.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, from my perspective and understanding, like after doing what you just said, you ending up with more month than you have money. But
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You ran out of money and you got a whole lot more month to go. You know,
keeping up with the Joneses and spinning your wheels is what they call it.
Nah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, have you seen the movie Keeping Up with
Absolutely.
the Joneses?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it talks everything about this marketing, bro.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie?
Nah.
Okay, it's like a family, right? Each of the individuals in the family are a part of this company. The grandmother's like the supervisor over the entire family. The dad, he markets to the other dads in the community as far as like lawn things, golf things. The mother, she does home stuff, fitness gear. The son, he does video games, and the daughter does like little makeup and stuff like that and everything. But they have certain quotas that they have to make in each quarter in order for the family to be successful. And then if something happens, one of the persons within the family either gets replaced or they have to relocate. But at the end of the movie, man, a person ended up killing himself because he had put himself in so much debt because he was keeping up with the Joneses.
That's crazy.
Yeah, nah, it's and that's a real thing. Like, especially as men, I'm married, so I can kind of understand. Like, we carry so much of, even if we're not the breadwinner, we still carry so much of that financial burden in our head. Like, we need to be able to provide and do this. So that's definitely an internal thing that makes us get more in debt, makes us, maybe do things that may be outside of our character.
Mhm.
So keeping up with the Joneses is a great example.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like as a man, I want to provide my family with some of the best things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like nice things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every tennis shoe that I have costs me at least $200, and I got about 50 pair of tennis shoes.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because I think the most I ever paid for a pair of tennis shoes was like $1,100, but you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother, you know what I'm saying? But I just felt some type of way, you feel me?
Yeah.
I want them red bottoms, you know what I'm saying?
And so there's nothing wrong with that. But because I probably have 100 pair of sneakers myself. Some of them I regret, after I've sat back and looked at them. And once I start selling them, that's the black man's bankruptcy. When you start selling your shoes and your PlayStation, you out of there. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've been there.
Yeah.
Dude, sometimes I got to get a few of these off.
It's crazy that our bankruptcy, like, I done sold rims.
Hey,
and all
that's-
that. I'm
hey.
like, my
pawn
heart
shops
is
take
done.
tennis shoes now.
They'll take everything. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, we had someone steal some out of here. You know what I'm saying? They took them to the pawn shop.
Okay, but look, I got a question. So do you prefer credit or cash?
Well, it depends on the scenario.
I mean, I gotta have a scenario. I mean, is it let's know scenario. Like, if you had the option to be cash rich or credit rich, what would you? We could get down to a scenario, but just,
Okay, so
just at the surface level.
I would
cash
always
rich or
prefer
credit?
cash because if I don't have to owe anybody.
Mhm.
But if I'm doing something, I want to use someone else's money
Okay.
at all times.
Now let's go to the scenario.
So if I'm, for example, I could be cash rich, but I don't need to go buy my home cash.
Mm.
And let me give you the scenario on why I asked the follow-up question.
Okay.
Okay, let's say I've got $1 million just liquid sitting around, and I can go purchase a house for $500,000.
Mhm.
So I know I can go buy this, taxes and insurance. Maybe I spent $600,000 on this house. Now I still have $400,000 in cash. Or I could have went to the bank, used the bank money, only put my 20% down on that house. So I'm only out $100,000 now. Now I've got $900,000 that I can invest, put in the market, accumulate more assets with that.
Mhm.
That will help me in turn make this one asset that I just bought
Mhm.
more valuable using the other people's money.
Right, right. So once you begin to gain equity in that asset, do you pull that equity out and you use it for something else, or you?
If that's what your lifestyle will require. Like, some people, they get their single family home and they're fine with that equity. They're gonna pass that down to the next generation. Next generation is gonna have a nice property, free and clear potentially, if they paid off the mortgage, where they can then maybe use that for college or lifestyle or new kids, whatever it may be.
Right.
Or if you're in a situation like, I'll give you a prime example like this. There were some properties that I kind of liquidated or may have taken equity from to be able to do this,
Mhm.
because I'm still in an accumulation phase. Well, okay, I got this money here. I got this money here. I know how we can deploy that. All right, let's go get the hive.
Right.
So it's stuff like that. It just depends on where you're at in your lifestyle and what you plan to do. So it's all goal planning.
Mm.
I like that. But it's crazy how people are perceived to have more money than what they actually have just by their worldly possession.
Absolutely.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So my next question is, how can someone break out of the cycle of spending to impress others and start building real wealth?
Yeah, no, that man, y'all got some good questions. So what I tell people is, and this is probably an answer that's weird. You got to detox
A detox from what?
from spending.
How can you do that?
You know how people go to AA
Yeah.
and they take all the alcohol from them? Hey man, we got to lock you out them accounts. You got to get some discipline, because it's if you're in a situation where your spending is uncontrollable,
Yeah.
you literally have to take stuff from those people,
Hmm.
because they will not do it by themselves. Like I'll give you a prime example. Sometimes you'll set up accounts for people who have money. And what you need to do is you only need to put a certain amount in the account that they can spend.
Mhm.
And if they ever go over that, they got to wait until that next month.
But see,
I think I need you to do that.
But now
for
they
me.
got,
I swear.
but now they got Affirm and Afterpay and
They
Man,
Klarna.
bro, my wife told me, I want to ask you that too. Do
Yeah.
you do, I mean,
Absolutely.
you got women, are they more difficult, or your women clients more difficult than your men clients?
I would say everyone's equally difficult. I'd say, or everyone's a blessing that decides to work with me. Appreciate y'all being willing to work with me.
Right, I ain't
But
trying
what
to
I
get-
will say is,
I don't want you to lose
no,
clients. but
absolutely
like-
not. That people who want to work with me want to work with me because they feel like I'm honest. Like
Right,
I
right,
say
right.
what it is.
Right.
So what I would say, the difference between men and women,
Mhm.
men come in with an exorbitant amount of confidence and oftentimes may not know what they're talking about.
I got that.
Women will come in and they'll ask a lot of questions, but they've already researched everything, so they know all the answers. So they're kind of fact checking you.
Mm.
So
Sound like a woman.
hey, they're the best detectives in the world. So what a man will do that's sitting down with me, and I work with a lot of couples, I work with a lot of CEOs. A man will come in and they'll pepper me maybe with questions around a certain strategy or a certain investment vehicle. And quite frankly, sometimes they're all wrong. And I'm gonna just let them be all wrong. And I'm gonna take minutes from the conversation and I'm gonna write back, hey, I think we were looking to accomplish this, but here's some alternatives, because I never say no. I'm a yes and person. I never say no to anybody.
Not even your wife and
Never say no. Ever. I'm not gonna say no.
Dang,
Yes
good
and. But the and is the change.
Yeah.
So, hey, you want this? Well, yes. And have you considered why we may not be able to do it right now? Like, I'm always going to be a yes, because yes.
Now you see what he did there?
Mhm.
He didn't say no.
Yeah, I'm never going to say no. It's
He
going to be yes
imposed
and.
Consider this.
That might help me in my marriage and my life. Because I'm like, hell no. No.
Nah,
No.
I never say no. It's going to be a,
I say no more than I say yeah.
hey,
no.
can we buy this? I clearly may know that it's not within the budget. And I'm like, yes. And let's maybe wait a couple months because there's a few other things that we got to do right now. So I didn't say no. I didn't damage or diminish whatever.
Right.
Well,
my
let me go
daughter
on
or
and
whatever.
say this. I say no, but they still do what they want.
They're going to. But that's why to keep things comfortable,
Mm.
I'm gonna always say yes. But I'm gonna add some things on the back end of it for you to consider
Got you.
all the time.
What Jesus say, and we don't just say no. We too busy saying yeah. For real. I mean, now we just found a different
What
way to
Oprah say?
it.
You get a
For real,
call.
for
You
real.
get a-
What's one money habit that looks normal in our culture, but is actually keeping people broke?
It's the cars.
Cause
Yeah, in our so black and we gonna get a car before we have a place to lay our head.
you
Yeah,
ain't-
that's true.
But E40 said that way back when. Don't go buy
He
that
did.
$80,000 car before you buy a house.
And we didn't listen to him.
Mm.
Brothers, especially black men,
Yeah.
we gonna have that car and sleeping on air mattresses.
Well, now I take that back. I bought
I've
the house
done that
before I
before.
bought my first Infinity.
You're an exception. I'm just telling you now. Most brothers, they're gonna buy that car before they got a comfortable place to lay
Yep.
their head.
I had a BMW with an apartment.
Yeah, they're gonna buy that car.
Brand new BMW.
They gonna buy that
Fresh
car.
off this, literally, I want that one on the showroom floor. This one, yeah. Drove to my apartment.
Because what the car does, and see, this is what men, or at least, and I'll give some game to some men. So this is a real thing. What you don't realize, that car gives you access and proximity to women, because that's typically what we care about.
Yep.
Yeah.
But once you get past that layer, then you scrambling to kind of figure out what's next.
Mm.
And then that's what spirals you more into debt. Because now, oh man, I got some motion. So I can't really just take them to the spot where I got an air mattress. So let's go spend some more money at the club. Because if I spend more money at the club, maybe they invite me to their crib. But if I don't invite me, then I'm going to go to the hotel.
Right.
So now you 4 bands deep for the month
right.
when you could have spent that on a nice home.
Nah, fact.
And men, we are the culprits of that, like for sure.
Nah, for real. And then it's crazy that you say that because Houston culture is slab culture.
Absolutely.
And you got people spending $10,000 on these G28s,
Correct.
G26s, or whichever number that they own now. You know what I'm saying? And you're extremely limited as far as resale value because you're not gonna get any of the money back.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was a hard bar about 20 years ago, but now I'm like, when J-Dog say, "Have you ever seen $100,000 lack before?" And I'm like, and at the time I was like, man. But then I'm like,
why?
No, seriously.
No, let's be for real. Like, what now? Unless you getting now,
and he wasn't talking about no Isla.
That's what I was about to say. He
talking about you buying it and then you putting $100,000 into it.
And I support it if it's within your budget. Because the one thing I'll never say is that you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor. But don't enjoy the fruits of your labor that's going to sacrifice your future. And that's what a lot of us do.
So, like you're saying yes, get the car.
Absolutely. Not right now.
That part.
And that's what and you know what?
But he always say yeah.
That's what the marketing's gonna do too, though. The marketing's doing the same thing to you. They dripping you. They are slow dripping you into, okay, you got an Infiniti now?
I have a Lincoln Continental.
Okay. Have you gotten the email from the dealership yet that tells you that your Lincoln Continental is worth more? Come trade it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got that like 2 weeks ago.
I know. The next phase is going to be, watch, it's going to be an Infiniti in the email next time. It's going to be like, come get this new Infiniti. Your trade-in is worth the same market value as this Infiniti that you want. Watch. And you're gonna call me and you're like, damn, how'd that happen? They've been dripping you.
But see, I want to keep my Lincoln. I love
They don't care about none of that. They need you spending new money.
Yeah, need that new money.
They're going to drip you regardless. They don't care about you wanting to keep your Lincoln. Matter of fact, keep your Lincoln. That's going to help the insurance company. They're going to make sure you keep it. Now you're going to get a multiple vehicle discount.
And it's funny that you say that because I was just listening to a video maybe about 3 or 4 days ago on YouTube, and the lady was saying car dealerships are no longer car dealerships.
No.
They're finance companies.
That's all they make their money on, the service. Another piece of game I'm going to give everybody. Car companies do not make money from you buying the cars off the lot.
Right.
They make it from you getting the service package and the financing when you left the lot. That's why they can give you a loan now that's 7 years. Right. There's car loans that are 84 months.
Nah, car dealerships hate me because I always go in with my credit union and they don't make no money.
Yeah, and you
like,
don't.
I literally bought a car laying in my bed one day. I called the bank. I told them what car I wanted. I seen it online. I filled out everything on digital. Then I called the dealership, say, hey, my bank finna send y'all this check if y'all still got this car. They did it. But when I got there, the car salesman was trying to upsell me all this stuff. I'm like, nope, don't want none of that. Bank already.
The gap insurance.
And then he was like, you sure you don't want to try our this and that? Nope, bank already sending y'all the money. I don't want to do this. And I'm like, why you so antsy and mad? But then I realized you ain't. Then the actual manager came in and was like, man, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna deal with him on the side. He ain't made no money, ain't making no sale off this transaction. But the dealership itself, we're gonna take the money, but we ain't really winning nothing. We ain't get to do nothing.
But they say that one of the questions that you're supposed to ask instead of what's the walkout price?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's the walkout price? Not that how much can you afford per month, how much can you put down, because those are the things that lock you into those 7-year loans that he was talking about.
I got another, this is just a random question. Do you think car insurance is a scam? You think it's legit or not legit?
Nah, all insurance is good. So,
but you paying, and then if something happened, they won't charge you more.
Well, that's why you got to understand the type of insurance you're buying. That's why you got to talk to, again, I'm not plugging myself, but there are different types of insurance that'll protect you from your premium going up, depending upon the scenario that you're in. So for example, I encourage everyone, get your standard policy, but if you don't want your premium to go up, make sure you have uninsured motorists. Houston is one of the most notorious cities in the country for uninsured motorists. Remember, we're all a part.
But uninsured motorists cost more, huh?
But hear me out. But if you get in an accident, your uninsured motorist policy is now kicking in instead of your standard policy. because you got in an accident with an uninsured motorist. So now you've got some additional coverage where they're looking at you as a good consumer. So your policy won't go up near as high as the person that they had to put all the money out for your standard premium. Remember, all insurance is a pool of risk. Health insurance, put all the people together. The healthy people are basically just, somewhat subsidizing the unhealthy people. The car insurance, the good drivers are somewhat subsidizing the poor drivers. But things that you can protect yourself with is things like uninsured motorist coverage.
Dang, that's crazy. I mean, because I had a Lexus, and I ended up getting into an accident. Man, I was dozing off in traffic. You know what I'm saying? On I-10, and I pull out my phone to like kind of start waking me up while I'm sitting in traffic. And I don't know if I dozed off, looked down at the phone, but next thing I know, I'm in somebody's trunk.
Oh,
wait, what? Oh, I got it.
Exactly. I'm in somebody's
I already
trunk.
know. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? And the first thing that the lady said when I called the insurance company, okay, well, we're not trying to get our money back. I know that's what you're thinking, but the next month, my insurance shot up like $300.
Yeah. Well, you were at fault too.
True.
Yeah, so that makes a difference. You were at fault. So that makes a difference. And I'm not saying that premiums won't go up. So I'm not trying to sit here and act like, but there are ways that you can kind of mitigate, how much a premium may go up depending upon situations.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. That really blew me. I ain't gonna lie. What's some unique financial challenges and pressures that exist in the Black communities that that you've seen from your line of work, and how do you think we can overcome that? Like,
the first I would say is, and we'll use a neighborhood like Riverside Terrace as a perfect example. A lot of our elders didn't realize that they were amassing wealth when they were able to purchase a home for $30,000-$40,000 from the income that they made in the 30s to 70s. They didn't realize that the blocks that they purchased, the neighborhoods that they purchased, the areas that were unwanted by certain communities were now wealthy neighborhoods. So one of the main things that we've allowed to happen is for people who don't look like us, go into those communities and take those properties. And at the same time, not realizing when they took those properties, they also took the community's wealth. Right. So one of the main things that I've been preaching, and I'm a part of an organization called Black Men Buy Houses, where we sit in, we need to be buying our communities. Right. We need to be buying from the elders in our communities that are still holding on to those properties that they've had since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, not because they're worth something, but because they're a part of anchoring our communities and making sure that if we're building wealth, we're building it together. So the one thing I would say first is securing like a foundation of the communities that were ours, trying to get those. And then the second thing that I think we do is we're way too individual. I think we compete amongst each other when in reality we should be building with each other. We look at someone and be like, well, why he got that? Versus, how did you get that?
Well, what do you say about, because a lot of times the togetherness, people are afraid because so many people getting messed over.
Hey, I got messed over just this last year. I'm gonna be honest. I won't even get into the full details here, but I got messed over here at the Hive just last year. But trying to be this, but I ain't changed my style and my approach. I just know, hey, maybe I got to look differently at the environment or the way that I'm operating with someone. But I think walking with a spirit of collaboration will always get me further. Always will. I'm not competing with my brother. There's no reason for me to. Now, if you give me a reason to compete, I'm going to win.
But I feel that, me personally, because me and this man ain't never been in the competition. Like, I've always encouraged him to do better. I've always encouraged him to go for his biggest dreams and all that. Like, when I see him aiming high and going for his dreams, it makes me want to aim high and go for my dreams as well. When he achieve, we achieve.
Absolutely.
That's my boy right there.
Absolutely.
I feel like you said, like, we're too busy competing with one another. You know what I mean? Instead of using each other as I ain't gonna say cheerleader or whatever.
No, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, vote of confidence though, bro. Like I think that's one of the biggest things that we have in the community. I've used this analogy on previous episodes, the crab in the bucket effect,
Yeah.
right? But we have to, it's a double entendre depending on how you look at it from perception, right? So this crab that's in the bucket may not necessarily be trying to pull you down, but I'm trying to pull myself up out of this bucket as well.
Correct. Yep.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
And I don't think that any of us are intentionally. So I'll say this. I don't think brother to brother, unless you're doing criminal activities or just really scamming,
Right.
I don't think intentionally we're attempting to harm our fellow brother. But I do think subconsciously we trying to get it. And you try to get it by any means necessary.
Mhm.
And when you try to get it by any means necessary, you don't realize the people you're stepping over to get it. And like I've always said, to make $1 billion, you probably got to hurt 1 million people.
Mm.
Because think about it. Think about how much $1 billion is.
Yeah.
A lot of people you're going to step along the way. You're going to close a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
You're going to close a lot of employment opportunities for people. You're going to shut down a lot of places that was maybe comfortable for others. Because once you get to that level of income, you've had to shut out so many people. A lot of people, when they start doing that, they ain't bringing people in, they're closing themselves off. I would hope that I can bring more people in. That's a goal that I'm working towards.
That's what's up.
Well, I always look at it like what you just explained. I mean, being a leader and also being a boss, the decision making can be hard, but you got to make it. So a lot of people want they want what you have, or they want to get to this certain goal. But when it's come down to certain decisions being made, 'cause we had we talk about making sacrifices all the time too. So when it come down to making sacrifices, they try to make it seem like that's a negative thing. But when it come down to legitimately being a business owner or being a boss or being a certain type of leader, and you making certain type of sacrifices, like we all sitting here know what being successful is in different realms. You've had to cut certain people off. You've had to change certain lifestyles. You've had to, like you say, step over certain people to get to where you're trying to go. Not even like I ain't never been the type of person to talk about somebody behind their back. But if we running, I want to win the race.
Yeah.
And if you just so happen to trip and fall, I say this. I'm cutting kind of. I remember when I joined the police academy. And one of my close friends started coming.
I told you to you a cop every episode.
Yeah.
Say you a cop.
Hey man, this my every day. Hey, it's hard not talking about something you do every day.
No doubt.
And not even every day, 12 to whatever. But anyway, I remember when I joined and I asked somebody to go running with me on the track because I knew that they ran a lot. Hey man, you come run with me, and kind of because I wasn't really running like that at the time. And before we started running, he say, "Hey, have you been running?" Say, "Nah, that's why I asked you." He say, "Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I start running, I'm not stopping or looking back until I complete. We doing a mile and a half? Yeah. Until I complete my mile and a half. If you gotta stop, take a breath. If you gotta sit down, that's fine. But don't think that I'm leaving you behind. I'm here for motivation, and I'm here to show you that it can be done. But what I'm not gonna do is keep looking back, try to grab your hand, and try to get you. No, I'm gonna run my mile and a half, and you gonna do it however you can. But I'm saying that to say, if I'm leaving you behind, or if I'm stepping over you or whatever, it may not be. I just gotta complete the mission.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even if we in war, I might start off trying to drag you with me, but at some point, this too much weight.
Agreed.
I'm gonna die or I'm gonna
Agreed.
get killed.
Nah, for
I
sure.
gotta go ahead and complete the mission. So
And then you got to too think. I want to go back to what you said before that, right? A leader and a boss is two different things. You got to know that. A leader stands in front of the line and shows his people the way. A boss stands behind his people and tells them what to do.
Yeah, no doubt.
then that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
No doubt.
facts.
Well, real quick, what would you rather be, a leader or a boss?
I am a leader.
So you'll stand in front of the line.
Yeah.
What
I'm a
about you?
trailblazer, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think I lead in a majority of ways, but I also like to lead and be a follower. as well because I like to serve. So if I can servant lead people, then I think I go further. If I'm in front and taking all the bullets, that's cool. But also let me serve the people that work with me also.
Yeah, man, LP, this has been a great conversation, big dog. Like, we definitely gonna have to have you on here. Hey, please give the people your handle and any little small gem that you want them to take with them. You know what I'm saying? So they can tap in and really just hone in what you're saying.
Nah, I appreciate y'all having me. You can find me at TRG Financial _ on Instagram. You could also find, because I am a podcaster, The Poor Horseman.
That we still trying to get on.
Oh, we got you. We got you. Don't worry. The Poor Horseman. We about to do our rounds here in a little bit with everybody. And if I want to leave people with one thing is that wherever you are in your financial situation now, it's not the end. You might be up right now and you think you always gonna be up. That's not always the case. You might be down right now and you feel like there's no way out of it. That's not always the case. Life is long, but it's short at the same time. So you got to make these moments last. And that's kind of how I look at it.
Nah, for real. For real. Drew, you got a closing statement for us?
Let me see. I don't know how to go behind that. I'm just gonna agree with what he's saying.
Yeah.
Nothing at the moment is permanent. At the end of the day, whatever your situation is, it definitely could change for the better, or could change for the worse. And one thing that he did say is preparing for the worst.
Nah, for real.
Preparation, if you fall but you prepare, your fall ain't that long, and you can always come back up.
Okay. Oh boy, y'all done made it kind of hard for me. You feel me? Let me go off in my mental Rolodex. You know what I'm saying? Okay, boom. I think I got one. Don't make permanent decisions off of temporary feelings. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the most important things right there, because, like you said, circumstances change. You know what I mean? So please make sure y'all don't do that. You know what I mean? And this has been another quick conversation with King Drew Millions. It's your boy, Mr. Quick.
And I'm King Drew Millions.
And we out.
Yes, sir.